Hi, welcome to NDE TV. I'm Pegi Robinson. Today's guest is my friend Annette from the Netherlands. And I am so happy to have her on. And she's going to have me on her show. Actually, we've already recorded it. It'll be coming out before long. But she's a wonderful new podcaster. And I just want everybody to know about her and to start watching her channel because she is amazing. Hi, Annette.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Peggy, for your kind words. Thank you so much. And thank you for this opportunity that I am allowed to share my story and talk about my YouTube channel. And I am so honored and humbled and blessed to be on your show. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I want to thank you for your friendship. It has meant a lot to me, the conversations we've had, the phone calls.
Yes, thank you so much. I don't want to get emotional right away, but really from the bottom of my heart, that means a lot to me. You know, you've been so supportive, even if it's just texting and on the phone. We are really miles apart. Can you imagine?
A lot.
I found a friend in you. So thank you. And I know it's not a coincidence.
Right. Right. Yeah. We just clicked. It don't matter. We're such different backgrounds.
two very talkative, you know. Thank you.
Open. We're open people. We don't hold anything back. You know, and that's rare for me to find somebody that's just open and don't hold anything back and just get in there and get in the business.
Oh, I love your energy, you know.
So you can begin wherever you like, and I'm going to let you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Before I will start talking about my YouTube channel, I mean my life-changing moments with Annette, I would like to share a little bit of my background. So I am born in the Philippines, raised as a Catholic. My parents got divorced when I was 4 years old. When I was 13, I went to live with my mom, siblings, stepdad in Switzerland. My life before, I would say, is quite a disorder or a mess. I've been through different tide of life's painful waves that left me so injured and broken, so painful that I even had suicidal thoughts. I've had a bitter taste of physical, sexual, and mental abuse in my youth, and even until I got married, which I carried through life, that resulted in traumas, anxiety, depression, fear of death, and health issues. You know, ever since I was a believer of God, but not to the extent of giving my full trust in Him. Not only in late 2020, when I found myself so helpless fighting against the tide of hardships and uncertainty, that I surrendered my life to God. I'm 100%, not 99%, but 100%. I made God as a captain of my life, and slowly miracles happen unexpectedly this year. Knowing that my life now is in His hand, I started gaining more and more interest in the afterlife. I did a lot of research, reading lots of articles about life after death, watching a lot of documentary films, watching a lot of near-death experience interviews from survivors. And the more I gained knowledge and more understanding about the afterlife, the less I became fearful of dying, you know. So I realized, had I not had my challenges in life, I would not be here speaking to you and to your viewers. So I think all these challenges was a part of my spiritual journey for me to seek God and acknowledge Him. And because I searched Him, I found Him. how do you call this? He redirect my life, you know. I know God works in a very mysterious way. Do you believe that too, Peggy?
Yes.
So the reason why I created my YouTube channel is because I want to help. I really want to help people grieving from a loss of loved ones, you know, to cope with their griefs, and to help people cope with their fear of dying, like me, not knowing the unknown, and to raise awareness that we should not fear death, because death is just the doorway to infinity. And this channel is also like a platform for people to share their life-changing experiences. Um, and I know that their story will bring strength and healing to a lot of people. There are lots of lives there that you can change, you know. So I'm just encouraging people to don't not to be ashamed of where you come from, whatever challenges you have in life, you know. Get out there and share your story, and there will be always people who will be inspired by that. And I believe that I've learned so many things about my, you know, not about, but from my guests and from all the research I did. So yeah, did I say?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Yes, that
you.
was a little bit of about my channel and about my background. So
And I
that
think
people
it's,
will understand.
pardon me?
So that people will also understand why you know, how I came to my awakening and the reason I created a channel. I mean,
I think that's good for people to know, because, you know, a lot of people just have NDEers on, or they can have something about UFOs or Bigfoot or just anything out there for views. And, you know, that's, you know, fine, you know, that's just entertainment. But you and I come at it from a different angle. Why we're having the podcast, what kind of guests we're looking for, and what we're trying to achieve, what kind of message we're trying to give out, you know, and but letting it take its own course too at the same time. And it comes from a place like you have, just this awareness that this is needed right now, and that we need it.
yes.
We need to help in this way that we were suffering from, and help others that might be suffering in the same way. And they're looking for answers, and we're looking for answers too, because we don't have them. But, you know, we have questions now that we've had a spiritual experience, and let's talk about them. Let's hear all of them. Let's pick them apart and try to understand, because I feel like what we're getting to know is God. Through all of these experiences, we're getting to know how God works, how he communicates.
Yes.
And that's what I love. It's like our church. You know,
Yes.
we're not staying here preaching the Bible. Everybody's heard it. Everybody's read it, or maybe some haven't. But this is how God has interacted in our lives.
That's true.
That's going on now.
And, you know, with the pandemic going on, people are confronted with their own mortality now. And many people search on the internet about, you know, like death. And that's why this near-death experience, how to call this thing, boom a lot during the pandemic, because people are really scared, you know. So I think I never doubt that what I'm doing is not good, because I all I wanted is to help. And especially with the pandemic, I used to be very scared of COVID. But since then, since my awakening this year, less scared. and I feel much better too. And if I can help people in that way, I am, I think that my mission here is accomplished, so
Yeah. Yeah. I
it
feel that
feels
way
good.
too. I do.
Yes.
Um, and because we're not preaching anything, we're not trying to get anybody to believe anything. We're just bringing people on and tell us your experience, and
Yes.
let's talk
Exactly.
about it, and share, like you and I, we share each other. This is
Yes.
going on with me, this is going on with you, and how do we come to terms with it? And people that don't have any kind of faith, if they can just understand, hey, this happened to her and this is what she did. This is what happened to him and this is how he got through it. And that miracles do happen. No matter what faith anyone is or any of their beliefs, regardless, you could be an atheist and still receive a miracle.
Yeah.
And whether
Exactly.
you acknowledge it and accept it as that is completely irrelevant,
Yeah.
because God loves us all. And then those miracles come, and people say, well, they just said a prayer and then suddenly, just like I was saying the other day, I just had this strange feeling I was going to be in a car wreck, and it made no sense because there was no cars around, and I prayed, and then here this car pulled right in front of me and burning right towards me, and it was a miracle that we did not collide. And so, I mean, I'm all about, don't have too much of an ego to ask for help. That's just
Oh,
pride.
yeah. 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 Peggy, is it also normal that I became an empath since my awakening? I've always been, very compassionate as a person. I felt people, but since the awakening, it has maximized like 10 times. Like, what I'm doing since with my YouTube channel, I went to pages, about life after, afterlife, or yeah, something like with this near-death experience. Many pages, huh? So when I open my Facebook, I have all those things, and I read like a lot during the day about people grieving from a loss of loved ones, and I feel their pain. And the only thing I can do is to give them, comforting words, and tell them that they are not alone. But I really feel it, and I burst into tears. Is that
You are definitely what people always call me. Your heart is on your sleeve, they say. I don't know if you ever heard that phrase. You wear your heart on your sleeve. It's a
oh,
saying. And it's just like your heart is just out there and you're just open to everything, where a lot of people are just closed and won't feel, like
that's
I've seen stuff on TV where, like somebody like gets hit by a car or mugged and they're laying there hurt, or a woman raped on the street, and people just walk by, just keep going by. They are so shut off to everyone else's feelings. They've got to be shut off from their own to be shut off from everybody else's feelings. And so I think when we have these spiritual awakenings, these spiritual experiences, NDEs, whatever they are, we're changed. We can no
yes,
longer just pretend that this person isn't sitting over here crying. We've got to go over and say, can I help you, or something? It's just not possible.
yes.
It opens us up.
But I had no idea, that there's so many people grieving this much. And it's not only, from all kinds of grieving, from a pet, grieving from a neighbor, or I don't know, friends. And it just hit me like, and I'm trying to be there for these people. I'm trying. And sometimes I even send them a private message and just say, like, if you need someone, and please know that I am here. I know it sounds crazy because I'm just a stranger to them, and some people might feel like, oh, I don't know this person, but just to tell them, in case you need someone, I'm here. I'm a mother of 3, and I have also my chores, but when it comes to this, I want to really to give that moment if they want to talk to me, or and I have made friends, and I feel good with that. And that is so priceless, to see them, feeling alive again and knowing that there is someone far thinking of them.
Yeah. And you're like me too. You've also got the criticism for putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and trying to help people. When you put yourself on a podcast and you start talking, especially about things like this, there's going to be criticism from can be even our closest family and friends.
Yes.
They may not agree with us in all sorts of ways, whether it be religion or personality. I mean, there's going to be pushback. And anybody that starts doing this, you're going to have to be ready for that and know that it's coming. And
I just realized that now.
Yeah.
So I need to be strong,
Yeah.
It's hard. I would like also to, now I remember, because I forgot that. There was this, I used to work in the hospital before, University Clinic in Bern, urology ward. And in the beginning, I, as a nurse aide, and what I noticed is that time already, that was like 26 years ago, what I noticed, Peggy, is that they seem to, people who were dying, patients that were dying, we did not have that much, thank God, but they seem to choose to die in my hands or in my arms. And for me that time, that was very hard for me. I just started and everything was new, and this was very hard on me. And it even get very obvious that even nurses would ask, like, who will work for the night shift? And if they will say, like, yeah, Marianette is coming back from her holiday, and they could predict, yeah, that patient of mine will die tonight because Marianette is there. So I really, I don't know, but I was feeling a bit depressed by this. I was asking myself, why? What have I done wrong? And a colleague told me, you have to take it in a positive way, Marianette, because I think you have a gift, because these patients chose you from so many of us, and we are nurses and you are a nurse aide, so they still chose you. And once she said that, I started to, to process that and trying to accept, okay, what kind of gift do I have, because, we are taught as Filipinos that when you die, your ghost comes back, the soul comes back and will haunt you or something like this. So for me, as a very young nurse aide at that time, I was horrified to go to work, because I was thinking, oh, maybe there's someone who will die again, So that was not easy. But since that colleague told me, it helped me in many ways. And now I really do believe I have that gift. I cannot see them, but I feel them. And the older I get, the more I feel that. Do we all have that, Peggy? Or
I don't think we all do, but I wanted to say, I think it isn't what you did wrong, it's what you did right that puts you in that. Because that moment of dying, that's a once in a lifetime thing. And to have the right person there when you pass, not someone that isn't going to be as open and caring as you, but someone else is not going to be a beautiful death. And I didn't understand the concept of beautiful death until my ex-mother-in-law passed. And I thought she had such a beautiful death. Her children were with her and they were singing songs and saying the Catholic prayers with her. And, for you to be like chosen to be there when they passed, that was giving them a better death than they would have if, someone else that wasn't open like you are.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Yes. I think.
And the other part of your question, or I forget what it was, but I also wanted to say, I do think as we get older, hopefully we all are that way. I know some may not be, but that we do get more compassionate and understanding, wiser. and more in touch with the other side, because we're closer every day. We're closer to that other side.
Yeah.
Everybody, even the newborn baby, from the time they're here, they're another day closer to, to going home. And as we get older, I just feel I'm closer to that door all the time. And you get to where you can almost see it, almost touch it, almost feel it. But you asked me something, I forget what the other question was, but you probably don't remember now either, but
I don't remember anymore. Sorry. No, that was just, now I can deal with that. I mean, I'm not working in the hospital anymore, but I can even imagine myself working as a hospice. Hospice or hospice?
Yeah, hospice.
Hospice, yes. I tried to contact one here, but I haven't heard anything from them. But I mean, I'm just waiting for the call. I don't know. Maybe God is planning something else for me. I don't know. But my life is all about others. It's all about helping. I know I did not realize that I was a very selfless person, until my children told me this, like, Mama, you're doing a lot for other people, that in that process I have forgotten myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is also very important, you should also love yourself and take care of yourself. We are God's creation, so we have to take care of ourselves. Not only God take care of us.
And to get people to understand what a transformation you've had is, you used to be a model, correct?
A model?
Wasn't you a model? Wasn't you? Okay. I thought you were, because I saw something on your Facebook, like pictures and things. And I thought you.
I do a lot of selfies before. That was just like, I don't know, like I've been bullied all my life. So can you imagine? I've been told that I am ugly. I've been told that I was different from other people. And, because the fact that I am half Chinese and half Filipina. So when I was in the Philippines, I got bullied because I was Chinese. And when I went to Switzerland, I got bullied because I was this. And even to this day, I am bullied. When the pandemic struck, I tell you, that was quite hard on me. I've been bullied as an adult, because they thought that it's from China and this, and people can be so
gosh,
and children's like kicking me and all these things. I know these are children, but of course I just wanted to cry at that moment. It's like, oh my gosh, like, but
you did not make COVID.
I know, but through my awakening, I stopped seeing myself as a victim. I stood strong, and I think like all those challenges was a part of my spiritual journey. So I've learned from those challenges I had. So that is the most important, that you learn something. Life is a constant learning experience. So we will always learn something from someone or from something.
Well, yeah, you're beautiful. I thought you had a modeling career, because those pictures are just, it looks like something out of a modeling magazine.
And you know what? It's only me doing those photos. I do that alone. So I have a lot of talents, though. Yes. And I had a feeling that I had to put makeup to look good, and to I have a feeling like I was more not impressing or making people feel happy, or in that way I will be accepted,
Right.
Because then they will say, oh, you look nice. But every time I put out my makeup, I like what I saw. I like what I saw. It's not that I did not like, but people made me feel that I was ugly, and oh, you cannot come out without lipstick. Oh, what would people say about you? Or what would people say that, I'm just thinking, oh, that is very superficial, because nobody can see me in my heart, unfortunately not. And if they could see that, then I don't need any makeup, because I think
Like,
that's already beautiful inside. And it's a shame, and it's sad how people can judge you from the outside, not even knowing you from the inside. And this is what I like from this community of near-death experiencers, because I am now in this community. I'm not judged. These people are not judgmental, and it's a relief. It's a relief, It's like I can live and I can breathe again without worrying what would people say about me.
yeah. And I think you can love yourself on what you look like in the mirror, but that is not self-love of who you are inside. It's two different things entirely. And until we have self-love, I don't think you can like reach out to other people and become empathy and be empathetic. I remember when I was a young woman, I always had long hair for years, and I decided I was getting it cut short. After I got my hair cut, people told me I should be shot.
Shot.
Shot. They said, you should be shot for getting your hair cut. And they would say, your long hair is the only reason you were pretty. They just said the awfulest things, but it's just hair. And it has such an effect on people. And then when I got older, another time I had fried my hair with hair color. I didn't know what I was doing, frosting my hair. And I thought the only solution is just to cut it short and start over, because it was just fried and breaking off. And so I did. I didn't think nothing. And it wasn't as bad as when I was young, but there was still people that said things like laugh at me because my hair was short. Like, people put so much emphasis, and then you don't know it because you're tiny still, but I was always tiny. And when I started putting on weight, people would stop and say, you used to be so skinny. And just look at me like, what happened? So I would start to say, I ate her. She's in my belly. But yeah.
But you see, it's all about the looks, Many people think like that. I have to share something. My sister got alopecia many years ago, and she really had very, this Pocahontas hair, long and shiny and thick, and all of a sudden she lost all her hair. These round things like this, but not just losing everything. It was like one here, one here, one here. And for her, I know that it was a very big struggle. She was very devastated, I think also depressed and sad. And I told her, because I was sorry for her, but for me, I told her, Les, this is just hair. Don't worry, because once you are bald, I will shave off my hair. And I mean that, and I will do that. I told her, I don't care, it's just hair. I mean, what is the use of the wigs sold on the thing? There's so many, but I could also really walk just like without hair. And many told me, oh, please don't do that. Please don't do that. How ugly. It's like, okay, so that's their opinion. But I'm starting to do what I want to do, and not what they want me to do, because then I always end up feeling bad. I'm always been taught what to say or what to do with my life. Now it's finished, and I think these are just like this human thing. We when we get old, this will change, but your heart will stay like that. So I think people should stop judging other people, because they also don't know what these other people had been through, why they became like that, So, and you said that people says about you from skinny to They even said that to me.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
don't know what to do. Should I not eat anymore? It's like, I'm not a celebrity, Peggy, but people are asking too much from me. You're not allowed to get old. You're not allowed to gain weight. It's like,
Right.
thank God I'm not a celebrity, because the pressure there, it's too much, too much for my heart to deal,
When I was on Dr. Oz, I had these like stretchy pants on, and when I sat down, they rolled under my belly. And so what's that do? It brings it all up like a ball, and there's nothing I could do about it. And so I see these pictures of me on Dr. Oz, and my stomach's just like I'm pregnant. And I've had people say, "Are you happy with the way you looked?" And I was on a podcast right after that, and this woman said to me, that was interviewing me, you really should lose weight if you're going to be a celebrity.
Oh my gosh. Oh. These hurtful words. Oh my. Oh
And I
my.
just kind of laughed because I thought, well, at least she thinks I might have a chance of being a celebrity. It's more chance than she's got.
I hope for these people that they will have their awakening, and they will not prioritize the look anymore. They will be, for me, awakening is a rebirth of me, knowing things that I couldn't have known before. It's like a third eye opening. I've always been, I don't say like I'm far from perfection, but I always felt like, like I said to you, I was always compassionate and feeling people. And since my awakening, it's even more. And the worst thing, when you have your awakening or you had your near-death experience, people wants you, or they think, or they want you to be perfect. And if you do just a little bit of mistake, they will say, oh, I thought you are with God now, so why you do mistakes? Or, oh, I thought you're, it's like, oh my. Okay, that's their opinion, but I don't want them to ruin the peace that I found through this journey, so I kept a little bit distance from people who are very negative. It doesn't mean that I hate them. They can always say their opinion, but it's up to you. If you let that ruin your life or your peace. So a little bit of distance doesn't, it's not bad. It's for yourself, you have to take care of yourself. And I have 3 kids, and I have to be healthy in my, psychologically, and spiritually, I have to be healthy in order to take care of them and take care of myself. So,
well, I'll tell you the truth. I'll give you a tip. Women that I've grown up with, from young woman to now, we're grandmothers, who I was naturally skinny. I never dieted or anything. And they were always dieting, trying to be skinny like me. And then I, passed them up in weight and kept going. And they always, laughed at me, thought that was funny. But the thing is, they're still skinny, but they look 90.
oh,
Your body needs vitamins. Your body needs to gradually put on weight over the years, not too much, but it needs nourished, and it needs to fill out a little. It needs to continue to grow. You grew as a child, and you don't need to just stop growing. You need to continue growing.
Becky, it's also the thing, our hormones when we have the menopause, it starts there. I know that.
I was very, very late in menopause, very late. Everybody was done way, way before me. And I just think my, biological clock is just at a slower pace. And, I was as a child too, like when I was in 5th grade, they say 3rd grade's down there, down the hall. I was always small for my age, always immature for my age, is always behind. And it's so strange that one of my granddaughters is like me. And she actually kind of looks like me, and she's real tiny and behind like me, not in school or anything, but just reminds me so much in personality and size as I was. And she gets regular doctor checkups and things that I didn't as a child. We're more advanced now. And they actually said that she is on a slower clock. And I thought, really? Because I always kind of felt I was. And she's just on she's aging at a slower rate than everybody else in every way. And, so there are a lot of, things go into that. But still, I just kind of like chuckle, because I can be in a room full of women my age, and all they're talking about is what they had to eat, what diet they are on, what, and cosmetics they're using, and all these things, exercise. And I'm sitting over here just bored to death. I'm wanting to talk about spiritual stuff and, really get into what's really going on with them as a person in their life. And they're not going there. And I just feel like they're stuck. As long as you're stuck in that material and physical world, you're not going to open up and be compassionate and be, I feel like, where we are. I mean, to each their own. I mean, they may think I'm the biggest loser too, but it's just, I don't know. It really makes me happy with getting older, and they're struggling not to get older. And I can't wait to be a really old lady. I've always had this thing, like from the time I was little, I just want to be a really old lady. And nobody says that. But I just I think that would be such an honor to be 100 years old and have your children, your grandchildren, your great, and to be able to see everybody through their life.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what aging is that another opportunity to still be here and with your family and seeing what they're doing and being available for them. It's not about trying to look 16.
No, I have no, I'm not against of people who wants to do that. But for myself, I always promise myself, I want to age gracefully. It's maybe I am also blessed because I am Asian, and we age slowly than the normal people. But if I would age so fast, I cannot do anything about that. I just have to accept that and feel comfortable with that phase, and that I maybe my face is not aging, but my body is aging. It's like I'm so tired lately, really, really tired. I don't know if that's also a part of awakening, that you are changing somehow.
Yeah, it happens. Really, I'm exhausted all the time. When my boys started getting close to 40, they're starting to say, I'm tired all the time. I said, this is when it starts. I said, people think it doesn't start till you're 80. I said, it starts before you get 40.
Still remember the interview we did, and you said, like, when you age like me, you need your nap. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I mean, Peggy is right. I
even when I was a young woman, I had to have an afternoon nap. Even when I was in high school, I would take naps in study hall after lunch. I've always needed an afternoon nap. Okay. I can't get through the day without it.
You're like my sister, but I was a Speedy Gonzalez. I was known for Speedy Gonzalez at work, from, the ward was so long, and you see me like this. And I'm so used to it. I was like that. And then suddenly my body, like, not collapse, but it's like I get really, really tired. And when I say I get really, really tired, that means I'm really tired, because I am someone who's, always so, I cannot sit still.
Yeah. I think it has something to do with being in tune with your body, because a lot of people may be tired, but their body doesn't recognize it. They're so shut off from their feelings. Like, I feel everything. And my husband always says, I've never known anybody to feel everything like you do. I can always, and I have a real high sensitive smell. There could be somebody smoking a cigarette outside, and I'm like, really? I smell cigarette,
I thought only pregnant women have that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just like sensitive to everything. Like, my feelers are always and so if I start feeling a little bit sick, I know it right away. And like husband, he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Next thing you know, he's throwing up. It's like, you didn't feel it coming on. But I can tell when he's starting to get sick too. Like I just start noticing things like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, I can hear you got a little bit of rattle.
Oh, I have also a question, Peggy. Do you have this ability of like sensing something? Like you had this near-death experience, and did you take back something, maybe a gift or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Of course, I didn't know it at the time, especially like at 5 years old. I didn't know
Yeah,
near-death experience. I didn't know this
yeah.
is why this is happening. And I look back now and I can see how it followed me throughout my childhood. And I say in the forward in my book, something to the effect of children are changed after a near-death experience, even if they don't know they had one. Because those changes are there, it's like today, say an adult have a near-death experience and they can get online and know what it's called and know what, they might expect, and then notice those things. Oh, this is called this and this. Well, of course, it's not like that, before those words and the understanding. And so I can look back and see how different I was. But then after my second one at 25, it was almost immediate that I would be led to, and that something's going on and I've got to go. There'll be a knowing. And then, this child is, drowning in a ditch, and I reach down, pick him up, and then we're driving down the road, and all of a sudden I tell my husband, pull over. I go knock on this house, and happened to be somebody I actually knew. And I said, what are you doing here? She said, I'm babysitting my nephew. I said, where's he at? Take me to him right now. And he was in his bedroom choking on Easter basket grass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and then, like I say, and then all of a sudden I just had a feeling I need to go up the road, and there was a car accident and there was 4 guys in there. And so I didn't understand that was connected to my near-death experience. I didn't even know that happened, was called a near-death experience. And but you can like follow the trail. And I'm glad that I experienced all this when there wasn't names for it, because that is my knowing that these things are real. Because how would I connect what I have said all along that happened to what science is saying now? I would not know, like now they have like scientists say there's like 9 main features of a near-death experience. Well, I hit 7 of them. How could I know when I told my story back in 1986 that in 2006, they're going to come up with this line of evidence and it would match completely. I'm so glad I did tell, right after my experience, what happened and what I saw and everything. Because, I suppose people would say, oh, you made that up. Well, I did tell people, and they could verify. I did tell them this is what happened, And so, and when I wrote my memoir, even 2016, I wanted to leave stuff out because it didn't make sense. And a voice told me, you don't need to understand it. You just need to tell it.
You really heard a voice.
Yes. Wow. And that somebody else would understand it. That would be their job. My job was just to like report what happened. And all of my experiences from the time I was in a baby bed where I had an experience, and then my 5-year-old drowning, and my job was just to report and tell the truth. And it would be up to other people to analyze it and tell me what makes sense and what don't. And, after the fact, everything's like textbook. And, and it's so nice that people have been studying this, that people have had this experience that can say to other people, oh, that's what this is called. That has a name, and you might experience this, and this is where you can go find out more about it. Because when there's no name for it and nobody else is talking about it, it's left kind of like swept under the rug. It's just left there. And it's like this miracle that needs to be taken out and shown, like this jewel. And, look at this, look how wonderful this is, instead of just kept in the dark because nobody can understand it. They're going to call you crazy, think you're a liar, and all those things, which I have thought about that word crazy here lately. And people say, oh, I don't want to tell my NDE. I don't want to say that. People will think I'm crazy. Crazy is not a mental health diagnosis anywhere. You've got your schizophrenia, you got your mood disorders, you got whatever, but it's not a mental health diagnosis. So when someone is saying you're crazy, you need to take it as a compliment, because you have stepped out of the normal realm and discovered something new. And people need to start embracing when somebody calls them crazy.
Oh, that's what I'm also trying to tell my viewers, if they happen to see this video, this interview, to step out. And until now, I admire all my guests for their courage and strength to speak out, because there will always be people who will be inspired and they can help with their stories. So if people has been through things as well, like challenges, it's my channel is not only, although it's focused on near-death topics, near-death experience topic, it's also for people who had life challenging experiences, and if they have overcome it and have the courage to speak out. And I think I would encourage them to come out and share their story. And one thing I have to say as well with our editing, this channel is from me, but I share this with my editor because she's my best friend and she's the one doing the editing. So I am the one interviewing, contacting people, but behind the scene, she's doing all the work, because I was so passionate of this channel, of my channel. I was forced to learn a little bit of computer things because I'm not techie person before this. Prior to this channel, I only could open, I could only send email. I know it's funny, but I'm just telling the truth, and to be able to do more things in the future, I force myself, and I think it's time for me to also learn something, because if she does everything alone, I think I will have so much piles of interviews, and this has to be out, so we are doing our best with editing. We are amateurs, so
your channel's beautiful. I'm jealous of your friend that's doing your editing and putting it all together, because they look beautiful and I don't know what I'm doing. That's why mine are unedited, because I don't know how to do anything to them, but that's just the way it is. But actually I'm fine with that now. At first I was like, oh crap, they're not professional, but what you're doing is great. But I know some of them, they kind of put these little videos in there and these pictures in there. And I know from personal experience, someone had done my video, Pegi Robinson's NDEs part 1 and 2. And they put in these clips and these pictures. That's not what the pond actually looked like. It's close. And when they talk about when I was kidnapped and raped at 16 and I was up above the earth looking down, the picture they have don't look nothing like what I saw. And so they're really deceiving. And I know that's just the way it is. That's the way movies are. That's the way everything, reenactments, I know that's the way it is. But I am such a stickler on everything has to be exactly the way I see it. And so, and the guy, to be fair, he asked me, is this okay? And I said, yeah, because he was doing this for me for free. And I didn't want him to go search for stuff and change things. I think, oh, yes, fine. But yeah, people don't realize that when they get those clips and those movies, that's not actually what the person saw. This is something they're getting to help you visualize.
Yes. And exactly that, my editor denied my suggestions. She said, no, I want people to imagine themselves, be creative in imagining what could it be. She said this. So that's why, because I thought as well something in that direction, but she said, no, people has to think as well and use their brain and imagination and creativity. And I thought, oh, that's a nice idea as well, So yeah. when I saw that video, I like that video so much, and I like the way you spoke there. It's very nice. I mean, the man did it very well, and it looks very nice, but the work behind it, oh, you cannot even imagine. You know, it's a lot of work, because
Yeah.
my friend, she's having back pain, and but she's doing it actually for free, because she wants to help, and she thinks that I have this in me, and it's a shame if I will not be exposed there and share the stories, you know, and help people. So I'm so grateful for her work, for her friendship, for her loyalty, for everything, you know. I mean, this is very seldom that you
Yeah.
find a friend like that, you know. So many years we haven't had a contact, because only because of Facebook. Facebook is good in a way, because it I have now I have a contact again from people that I lost contact many years ago. So I met her there, and I think, like I said, there's nothing coincidence. It's like there is a purpose that you meet the person. And like, I met you, and I never thought that, you know, you were just so nice. And I was really like so excited, because I'm not used people like saying hello to me, or, you know, it's always me saying hello to everyone. And there's this someone, you know, so friendly. And oh, it's such an honor to be your friend, Peggy.
Oh.
I don't want to be like a slimer, but you are really, you know, you're so kind-hearted, and I admire you for everything you do, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
I've talked to my husband about you, and so he'll ask me how you are and have you talked to her recently, and you need to talk to her, you need to check and see how she's doing.
oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. You're always in my thought, you know, always. And like, do you have that also with friends? Like they always in your thought. It's just like, yeah, you forget to you know,
Yeah,
to
it's kind of like, I
write,
call it
or
radar love. It's like they start being on your mind, and you start thinking, I need to call them, I need to get a hold of them, I need to see what's going on.
radar love.
Something's happening with them, they need me to call.
Oh, that's
And
very
it's so
nice.
funny with my sons, if I have them on my mind a lot, they'll call. It's just like they've been on my mind so intensely, I know they're going to call me soon, because I feel like there's a string between us, you know, like some kind of, I don't know, like we just in this wavelength, like something's going on, I gotta call mom, or and I'll be like, I was just gonna call you, I've been thinking about you. So
Is that the thing? Is that the hindsight or hindsight, or how?
with our children, I think it's a biological connection. I have a scar on my hand, where my oldest son, when he was in the military, he was into boxing, and he was getting ready to go in a boxing ring with this really big guy. And I was really nervous and afraid about it. And I'm so far away from him. And so I was doing dishes, and I'm thinking, oh, he's boxing right now. And I just thought, get him, Matt. And I did that. And I had my hand in a glass cleaning, I sliced me. I was like, get him, Matt.
Oh, oh my. How is you still have
Oh, it's fine. It was a long time ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm happy that you do you feel a little bit better now talking to me, or
Oh, yeah. So, and I think too, we were talking about, you know, people coming on our shows, our podcasts. And for me, like doing my book and going on podcasts, I feel like it's a permanent record of this story, because we're all going to be gone someday. And what we leave behind is all that's left of us as far as on this earth. So if you write a book, if you go on a podcast, tell your story, if you even hold your phone up and tell your story and then upload it yourself on YouTube, I mean, you know, get your story out there, because people need these stories. And it may not be today, it might be 20 years from now, that somebody just happens to come across a book, a podcast, your video, anywhere that you've told this experience, and it touched them. because we just don't know how far reaching. And, I've had people call me and say, or message me and, I was feeling suicidal, or I just lost my child and this helped me so much. And we don't know what we're saying, what little silly thing we're laughing about, we could think insignificant. It might have a big meaning for somebody.
Exactly.
Maybe even somebody feeling they're aging and they don't want to look old. And so they're going to commit suicide. And they say, well, heck, that lady, she's fat and she don't care. That lady says, just be there for that 100, the goal will be the 100th birthday, not how you look, but the feeling you're going to have to still be here and witness your family and be there when they call and need something. That's important. Not where we got these jowls and these baggy eyes, our hair's falling out. That's just, we all want to look nice. That's not saying that. But
in God's eyes, we are all beautiful. In my eyes, everyone is beautiful. It's very hard for me to say someone, hey, I think I never said that unless that person really, really like hurt me with thing, like with the mouth and a lot of things that are not nice words, then I think then I have to defend myself in a way. But I never said like a person. For me, the outer look, I don't want to discuss that, because that is just from the outside. If I make a compliment to you, it's more about what's inside that
right.
that shines through. Going back to, you said like there was there was a suicidal person who saw your interview. I had a text message from one of my guests, and this guest said, Annette, you just save people, because there is one who was suicidal and saw our interview accidentally on YouTube, and now she's not suicidal anymore. And I have now goosebumps. It feels, this is so priceless. And when you hear these things, it makes you more do your, it feels like my things are that's my payment. It's like when I know that it reached people, it helped them, that is priceless.
Yeah.
I was really literally jumping of joy like a child. I burst into tears for one person that was suicidal. It's like, of course my guest did the thing, I interviewed him, but he said, you see, your channel, you've done something very good, Marianette, so I am very, very happy to know this.
Yeah. And you imagine all the people we don't even hear about that, that we just happen to hear that, but imagine the people that never said anything to anybody that, we never know. My biggest moment like that was a couple years ago. And I was going through a very hard time because IANS, International Social Near Death Studies, had rejected me because I'm pro-life. And I was furious and I was hurt. And I was talking about it a lot on my Facebook, trying to get them to realize you got to be inclusive of everyone's religion, their politics, and near-death experiences. You can't pick and choose who you allow in. And because I was a leader and I was, getting ready to start an international podcast and stuff. Well, so I was just like griping about that. But what happened out of that is a woman contacted me from another country, and she said, Peggy, I have seen what you have been saying about being pro-life on your Facebook, and I wanted to ask you for help. A friend of my daughter's that's in college just made an appointment to get an abortion. What can I do? And I said, send me a link to her Facebook and I'll talk to her. So here I contact this girl. She don't know why, how, where. And I just tell her, I don't judge her. I just tell her I was 18 and homeless and was pregnant. And this was my situation. And my son was, getting ready to turn 40. He's got 4 kids. He's, got this great job. He's got this and that. My life was so changed for the better for this child that I conceived. And I didn't know how we were going to make it. When I was pregnant, I walked up and down the road and I rubbed my belly and say, honey, I can't promise you that we'll be rich, that we'll have a lot of things, but I promise you, I will always love you. And we're going to make it. And I knew we was going to make it because I just loved him so much. And I knew I would find a way to take care of this child. And I was homeless. And I did not go to a home for Edwin mothers because I'd heard stories that they try to talk you into giving up your child, trying to tell you that it is best for the child, that you're selfish to keep your child and all those things. And I did not want guilted into that. And so my parents had moved out of their house and I was able to go rent it and it was really cheap and, and I got through. But so I'm telling her, what things was like then and what things are like now for my son and how great he's doing, because I know this girl's in college and I already have been told she's very intelligent. She was like in her last year of college, and so she could make it. So I wanted her to see where I was, where she is, and if I could make it, she could. And so she talked to me a little bit and she didn't tell me what decision she made.
Yeah.
But she said it was so good timing that I contacted her when I did. Months went by. I never knew what happened. She sent me a picture of her newborn baby girl, dressed in the pink lace and so beautiful. And she said she is the love of my life and the father is in the child's life as well. And I cannot imagine my life without her, that she's the best thing ever happened to me. And I'm like, all that ranting and all that hurt I went through, the rejection I went through, but I stuck to my guns and my conviction, have these babies. Don't kill these babies. Have these babies. They're the best thing that ever happened to you. Don't make that mistake. If I was homeless, a teenager, and I had my son and we got through it, you can too. What is wrong with that message? They hated me for that message. What is wrong with that message? And I was so convicted to that message. And then this lady, she sent me that picture of that baby. And so, like the hard things we go through, and you were asking God, why am I going through this? I should not have to go through this, and you never know anybody out there, especially now with the internet and, YouTube, we're hitting the whole world here.
Exactly.
We really are. I mean, I can go through, I know you can too, look on your YouTube and see all the countries and how many views in each country. And it's amazing. There's someone in Africa and Siberia and anywhere, how many people have heard me sitting here in Long Bottom, Ohio, just rambling my thoughts, And I wouldn't have started this if I didn't think I had something to say, something to share, because I've been through so many hard things in my life that I'm at a point now that I feel I want to help other people that might be going through something. When I was going through it, I had no words of wisdom. I had nobody telling me anything other than the same old clatter, back in 1980. Even my doctor said you need to abort because you have no family support. And I had nobody saying this was a good thing, but I knew it was the most wonderful thing ever happened in my life and ever would happen. And then, and I had my second son. I was married then, and, it was a different situation. But even then, I had my ex telling me to get fixed, to get my tubes tied. I was only 20 years old and I had nobody to talk to. And I did that. And then 5 years later, I found out I could have them reversed. And I did that. And then I had my tubal pregnancy because of that. And so much we go through, we don't have anybody to talk to. And we're so isolated because people don't want to open up and share their heart. Like I say, and those women sit in a room with them and all they want to talk about is this skin cream, this collagen, or this diet. And I'm just like alone. People, I can be in a room with people and feel so alone, where we can get on a podcast and I can meet you in the Netherlands and we connect. I found somebody I can connect with,
Yes,
because I'm not
yes.
going to find it here in where I live.
I just want to grow spiritually, and with people like you, I can do that. But just the people surrounding me now are different people than before. Before were more like earthly people. I'm also trying to tell them about my story, and who knows, maybe they will change in a way. But of course, I cannot force that. I think it's only God can do that. So when it's their time, if there is time for them, then I'm glad that this awakening happened in my, how old am I? How old am I?
How old are you?
44 or 45? Okay, yeah, but it's better late than never, because this is not only for myself, it's like also people surrounding me. I can help in even in a small way. I am already happy to help, happy for that.
And I know your kids are younger. You're not a grandmother yet.
My son, my eldest son is 25.
Okay, so you could be. I mean, we're at the ages.
So I am 45. So I am 45 because it's 25.
Okay, so you're actually grandma age too, even though
yes,
someone may have never had a child and never had a grandchild, you're still that grandma age. And remember, our grandmothers got married as young teenagers, but some of them. And so they were grandmothers in their 30s. And so, when you get to be that grandma age, you have that wisdom. And I just feel like, we used to live in tribes and, people listen to what grandma said. Nobody listens to what grandma says now because nobody respects older people. They respect the young, the fit, the rich and famous, the Britney Spears of the world, she's probably grandma now too. But it used to be grandma and grandpa, I think of like an Indian tribe, they had the chiefs and it was the wise people. And people don't have anywhere to go to find those wise people now. And I get so upset when people my age, I see them in the paper getting caught with drugs. And it just makes me so mad because I'm thinking, you're supposed to be a role model, not a teenager. You are trying to still be a teenager on your Harley bike and your black leather jacket. Not against anybody that does that, because they can still be a good person too. But I'm saying, and they're doing the drugs and they're drinking and they're not. They say when you start becoming addicted, that's the age you stop maturing. So how are you any help as a grandparent if you have not matured since 18 years old? What are you giving to your grandkids? Are you giving them a joint? Are you giving them a can of beer? Is that your contribution? I mean, I just take life very seriously. I always have since I was a little kid. I just take life very seriously. Everything matters so much. And my family was so dysfunctional. They were just rolling their eyes at me because I was like, this is not right. This is wrong. And I was just this annoying little brat. And I'm still an annoying little brat, but I'm older now and I got a podcast and I'm going to say what I want to say.
I think we are more similar. I was always a justice person. I don't like when people are not treated good. I think everyone is equal. We are, in the hospital, we had also like private patients, really rich patients. And we have this general patient, like normal people like you and me. And I've always treated everyone the same, even the ones that are more poor, even I think they got a better treatment from me.
That's the way I was too. When I worked at Children's Services, I noticed other people were workers were treating people differently on who their name was, because we're a small community. So they recognize this name. Oh, they're so-and-so. So they are somebody. These people are trash. These people are outsiders, blah, blah, blah. And I just understand that. And I didn't like it. But what was strange is, when one time someone from the senator's office come and everybody just hid. And I'm like, where are they at? And so I walked over to her, so everybody's hiding, and she said, well, I just wanted to like follow a caseworker for a day. And everybody's like, no, not me, not me, not me. And they're hiding. I'm like, well, sure, come on. And so she went with me, and we had a great old time. I treated her just like I would the poorest of client. And I didn't understand that division of treating person different because of this or that. I never got it. And
I never understood that. I never until to this day. Okay, now that I am now an empath, I have the feeling I understand a little bit, but I'm not gonna, I still think that they should not do that, because I don't know, like because you are more rich or more famous, people would just like kneel in front of you, and you don't get that from me. I am like that with everyone. So so if you are popular or whatever, you are the same. So
I think now I think that keeps us from being camera shy too, because we were at our camper one time and I got a knock on the door and it was news media, like full cameras and the microphone right in my face as soon as I opened my camera door. And they started asking me questions because there was a murder in town, and the two guys that did it was each side of our camper, and they had just got arrested the night before. And so they were putting down we were all welders in this campground. We were all welders and welder helpers and, there for the jobs. And they were putting down us as these people just come in and like terrorize a community. And so I was like, well, just let me tell you. And I stepped out and I just started talking. And then next day they come knocking on my door again. And I was on TV every night. And well, I'll tell you what else I think. You're guilty. I said, you're innocent until proven guilty. And we will find out. There's no reason to judge people until they have been through the jury and they have decided. And we are not this and that. Well, where are you people from? And I said, you want to know where we're from? I said, look at every license plate on every camper. You want to know what state they're from? Look at that one, Kentucky. Look what that one down there. I said, they're from everywhere. And I just started telling them what for. And as you said that, I never connected those two things, because people say, you're so comfortable on a camera. I'm like, yeah, I guess I am, aren't I? And I never made the connection until you just said that, because I've been comfortable with judges and janitors and everything in between. I've always treated people the same and gave them the same respect. I never got that, oh, I'm so scared, they're so-and-so. And I just don't have that.
Normally, I'm not shy. I used to go on stage. I used to sing. I went for when they were looking for a pop star in Switzerland before. I used to sing in front of so many people, and that time they interviewed me, because not so many they interviewed. I think only 5 people who went on the newspaper, and I had no idea that I will be chosen on to be interviewed. And they asked me already that time, they asked me why I want to be a pop star. That was such a young age that time. And I said, because I want to help. So this reporter, this interviewer did not understand what I mean, because all the answers of the others are different, And I said, I just want to help people. If I get rich, I want to help people. So the man said, oh, so you're so selfless. And I said, yeah. I was really like, so naive, like, yeah, And then I think it was even also in the newspaper, my answer from his question. So, and I mean, I'm just being honest, it's all about like, if I have something, or even, do you know, Peggy, that I am also helping, I am helping street children. I've been doing this for quite some time already, So if I have a little bit of money during Christmas, I give rice and I give food, because these people, I can just imagine having an empty belly during Christmas, and because I cannot afford it, I can only give at Christmas time. At least at that time they can be happy too, and they have something to eat. So I I'm so happy. And this year I'm doing that with the name of my channel for the first time, like life-changing moments with Anet. It's like I'm just very grateful for the life I have. I'm grateful for everything. So I just want to share my blessings, and I think everyone should do that.
Yeah.
I'm encouraging people to help.
And you speak different languages as well, don't you?
Yes.
What do you speak?
I speak my language. We also have like 2 languages, like
And
my
what is your
dialect.
language?
Cebuano. That's from an island. I come from Cebu, an island in the Philippines. And then the real language there is Tagalog. And I also speak that. And I speak English. I speak Dutch. I speak German because I'm from Switzerland. And I spoke French. I was quite good in French back then, but if you don't practice, it will be rusty. Your brain will get rusty and then you forget things. And I've worked with many Italian people, so I understand them too. And my first marriage was with a Portuguese, so I understand a bit of Portuguese. So all this, and then Spaniards, because Filipinos are, under Spanish colony. So it's like a mixed salad in my brain. So I hope people will understand if I had to pause and think what I have to say, because there's so many.
But not Chinese, and you're part Chinese, is that right?
Yes, I'm half Chinese and I cannot speak Chinese. And and I am Chinese, but I am born in the Philippines. So I have no connection with being Chinese. But if I see my family, they're all together, I said, yes, I am really Chinese, because
but yeah, kids kick you because of COVID.
Sorry?
But yeah, kids kick you because of COVID. They think you're Chinese.
Oh, that is very, because I had this mask. I had this mask, and I was, through this lockdown, it seems like it was only me. I was very careful because I was very scared of Corona, and I had to experience this really very bad, that people would come to me and really intentionally cough in front of me and laugh at me. So I know, but it's okay. I have forgiven all these people, so.
You know what you need to do? Because you speak all those languages, if I was you, I would make a podcast in each of those languages and post it somewhere they might see it, because you have the advantage of speaking these languages, that you could do your podcast in all these languages and reach more people.
But I think here in the Netherlands, that's I think people, they don't like talking about, like that. And that's why I think, like, what happened to you before? You did not know what you were experiencing, because if you would tell someone, they would think that you're crazy. I have the feeling that the Netherlands is still in that kind of
But
thing,
you could open that up. You could change that.
I was really thinking of doing also a podcast in but I need a connection. How can I do that? I'm trying to tell people that I'm doing this podcast. Maybe they can refer someone, So,
yeah.
So I would be glad to do it in Dutch, or because I'm having now in English. And what is also, Philippines is a very Catholic country, and if you had something like this kind of experience, I think they will not really open it because we do believe in, dying, and nobody goes to heaven. We believe in hell. So it will be very difficult for me to find people, because I had already like 2 Filipinas that I've heard they had near-death experience, but they said no, they don't want anything about it. They don't want to share. And I have one Filipina that is also piling up for editing, and she had also, it was very courageous of her that she came out and spoke. So
maybe they could do it with their screen off and change their name, and that way they're telling their story, but they don't have to expose who they are. And I mean, you could even translate to English.
Yes, yes, I know that this will be a very big challenge for us because that will also take longer, you know. A normal video already takes long, because we really carefully select what we want to to show as well, because we don't want to to offend other, you know, religions and all those things. We respect others, you know. So it's not just like, we also look on our rights. My editor does this, all these things. She explained this to me, you know. She said we cannot just like do this, that. You can be sued for that or this, you know. So we are very careful with what we do. She said better careful than be sorry. And that's why I think it's very important to get someone that you trust. Because if I had someone, an editor who doesn't care about me, I can have, I might be in problems too. I don't know, but
I'm unedited. I'm pre-recorded, unedited.
Yeah, that's we are trying.
I'm raw.
To make it raw. We are trying to make it raw. But she said to me, I talk too much. I really talk too much, and there's a lot. I talk too much, and she said I have to let the guests talk so that the video will not be so long, because like you said, people get tired of,
yeah, I don't care. Don't watch then. That's what I feel about. Don't watch it then. I get comments all the time telling me to shut up, that I interrupted the guests and I need to let the guests talk. And I was like, who's running this dog and pony show? You know, do you see where it says my name, Pegi Robinson, NDE TV? That's me. I'm doing this. If you don't like it, watch somebody else. I don't care.
Exactly.
I didn't do this to become a famous podcaster. I do this because I absolutely love talking to near-death experiencers, and I think these conversations are sacred, and I think they should be recorded so other people can hear them and maybe somebody will benefit. And that's the extent of it. I am not thinking I'm going to be a podcaster or anything I'm going to gain out of this. I am just a granny having a good time.
Yeah, that is what I like, you know. There's a lot of competition now in this near-death experience podcast, and I've seen a lot like asking for how do you call this, donations and like this. If these donations will be spent for people who needs that, then it's okay. But if it's for their private needs, then I think it's very unfair, you know, to use your guests to get money. And I think, you know, if ever this channel, this life-changing moments, Annette will have a lot of viewers in the future. I want to help the less fortunate, you know. I want this thing is dedicated to the people living on the streets, and I want to help more of them because there's so many. You have no idea, you know. Philippines is a very, there's so many poor people there. And if I can help with this channel in the future, that will be great. And I'm just telling my, you know.
Yeah, I'm not into those gimmicks either. I've seen those offered on YouTube channel saying, you know, the badges and the partnership or the like a club and buying YouTube subscribers and views, and I'm not getting into any of that.
No, you know, wrong subscribers YouTube can kick you out, you know, if you know, buying subscribers and like that.
Really?
YouTube will look at it and they will analyze if these are real subscribers. And that's why I only have 200 subscribers, and I'm so happy for that. I am really celebrating that, because it's very difficult to find subscribers, real one, you know. If you want a robot subscribers, I think you can buy those things, but these are real people. And I'm so happy. And for all.
But you're new. I mean, you've got just a few videos because you're taking so much time in making them perfect. And so the more videos you have out there, the more people realize. And I hope people that watch mine will now subscribe to yours because I know you got a lot of good stuff coming up, and I know me being on yours is coming up. I'm really excited.
Yes. I just want to say that Peggy's interview is coming up too, and we are trying all our best to speed it up. And I cannot force my editor; she is
That's
not
fine.
so 100%.
That's fine.
I think when it comes from God, it has its time. So we.
I know you guys take your time and do a good job. I'm not rushing you. Now, what's the name of your podcast for people?
Life-changing moments with Anet. I think
There
that's
you
the
go.
only one there.
And
So,
I'll put a link at the bottom in your description as well.
Yes. Thank you so much, Peggy. Thank you so much for having me here and this opportunity that people will also know my my channel. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck and Merry Christmas. And I will talk to you later on Facebook.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Peggy. And regards to your family. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.